Welcome, Pokemon players, to another episode of Discount Pokemon Decks. This episode is going to be a cheap EX episode, which means it's not for the beginner budget player. It's for the intermediate budget player, someone that has a few decks already, has the ability to win some tournaments and earn some cards, and wants to take that next step in starting to build EX decks. A lot of times you will just open up packs and have some EXs and you try to put those together for a deck, but if you've saved up some packs and you do have the ability to put together a medium price deck or a low price deck and you're looking for that, this is the place for you. So today's deck is going to be a Mega Altaria deck. And before I get into the deck, I'd like to show you about what the cost of this deck is going to be. Okay, so we're at the Pokemon forum page, and in the forum page they're the in-game trading, and we are at Violet City, okay, run by Lord Kieda. Violet City, so it gives you the prices of the Pokemon EX, if you're unfamiliar, and how much they cost. And this cost is approximate, and I don't mean it's approximate in that it's debatable. What I mean is it's not exactly one pack. So these are the pack value, but packs have different values. So let's just go over. Altaria EX, as you can see, is one of the cheapest packs. It's only cost one Airfinger quote pack. And the Mega for Altaria also costs one pack. Okay? So what does that mean? So if we wanted to get one Altaria plus one Mega, it's going to cost us two quote-unquote Airfingers packs. Now a pack, it depends on what kind of pack you use. Okay, so if we scroll up, they tell you on their page how much the packs go for. So if you are paying with generation packs, well, it'll cost you one pack for one pack ratio. If you're using something like Fates Collide, it's only half a pack. So that means you'd have to pay double what you would have to pay in Fates Collides than you would for Generations. Evolutions or Steam Siege are 3/4. Okay, so let's go back to our calculation. So one Altaria EX plus one Mega is going to be two quote-unquote packs. And let's just assume for a second we are paying with Evolution packs, which are worth 0.75. So we divide this by 0.75, and we see it actually costs us 2 2/3 packs. Now we need 3 sets of these, so if we multiply that by 3, that means it would cost you 8 packs. So 8 Evolution packs, or Steam Siege, or a combination of those, or Breakpoint and Breakthrough and Ancient Origins. 8 of those will get you a 3/3 line of Altaria Mega Altaria. Okay? You might need to do a little bit more to get some of the other cards to make out this deck. Obviously, you will need the Spirit Links. That's of course, with any Mega EX deck, you want the Spirit Links. But it's going to cost you about 8 packs just for those cards. There is an additional cost to this deck, and that is going to be the Xerneas. So let's look how much the Xerneas is. Okay, so non-EX Pokemon. So Xerneas is going to cost you, I believe it's going to cost you 1 pack. And then the break, if you need to get those, so Xerneas Break, I believe, is 3 packs. Okay, so let's go to our deck for a second, just so you understand the prices of these. Here's the deck build out. So the main Pokemon on our deck are the Altaria EX and Xerneas Break. So it'll cost you, let's say, somewhere around 10 to 12 packs to build this deck. Now, let's not. It sounds like a lot, but think for a second. This Xerneas can be used in lots of different decks, as well as, the Xerneas Break. So investment in these is not a sunken cost. You can use this in other decks. You can use this in a Rainbow Road deck. You can use this in any fairy deck where you have lots of energy, this live stream attack. So there is a Xerneas Dragon deck that you can use it for. You can use it for anything that uses double colorless. So it's not a sunken cost. These cards are useful elsewhere. But everything else should be easily obtainable. Obviously, the other big one would be Garbodor. But if you're in that middle stage, if you're not in that beginner stage, you're in that intermediate stage where you can afford some cards, you're going to want a Garbodor anyway. So this is for the Pokemon player that's, you know, can win some tournaments, has some packs of cards, and wants to make a little bit of a stronger deck with it, and start transitioning towards getting EX cards, getting things like Octillery and Shaman and all that. So this is a good middle tier deck, and you can see Altaria is pretty cheap. If we went back to this page and we looked at some of the other EXs, they're very expensive. Let's price up. Let's go back and look. Oops, Altaria EX. So Altaria is one. You know what? If you wanted to make the same deck, but with Darkrai, well, that's 4 packs, and that star means it's going to cost you a little more. If you want a Garbodor deck, well, you know, that's going to cost you from Steam Siege. It's going to cost you 2 packs. Plus the Mega is going to cost you some. So you could see something like Hoopa. All right, you want to add Hoopa to your deck, and you'll use Hoopa on every deck, but that's 4.5, packs just to acquire it. So you can see a lot of these Pokemon get pretty expensive. If you want to build that deck with Megas and all that, it's going to cost you a lot more packs than this deck will. So that's kind of my point. Moving on, let's get to what this deck actually does now that we've talked about the cost. I always talk about the focal point. And I say your deck should have a single focal point or, multiple focal points where the deck works around those things and highlights those focal points. So those are your strong points. This deck's focal point is its versatility. It's going to sound like a cop-out. And maybe it is. Maybe it's a cop-out. But there's different ways you can win with this deck. And quite honestly, right before recording this, I actually won a deck out. I got my opponent to deck out. He was unable to draw a card. We went blow for blow. And what won it in the end, it was a Beedrill Yanmega break deck. And I finally got my Garbodor out. I shut down his Yanmega from attacking. He had no more energy to get me with his Beedrill because the Beedrill discards energy. He had no way to get it back, and actually my cards were healing themselves. So it was exciting. I won in a deck out, and I wish I had that game to record for this. I don't know what games. I haven't played the games yet to record this. I always do this part first. I do it in chronological order, and I try to show all the games, win, lose, or draw, with some exceptions if someone quits too early or. In the Volcanion Delphox deck, I almost played 3 Volcanion EX decks in a row, and even I can't stand that. So I did it auto-resign, auto-concede. But in any case, so the focal point of this deck is its versatility. There's lots of different ways to win. So it's very well balanced. There's lots of good elements on it. So let's just skip over to the synergies. Okay, so the idea with this deck is not going to really attack with Altaria. The first idea is to use Xerneas' Geomancy. That's the ideal, is to have Xerneas out and using Geomancy to power up the Pokemon on the bench. And there may be a Xerneas on the bench, there may be an Altaria on the bench, but basically Geomancy allows you to choose 2 of your bench Pokemon and attach fairy energy to them. So just like Volcanion and lots of other cards, it's a good way to start up your deck and power things through. Obviously, building energy is something you want to do early. So, so Xerneas, so kind of our first attacker is going to be this Xerneas Break Lifestream. And it does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all your Pokemon. Okay, so eventually, if your Xerneas survives, you want to upgrade him to a Xerneas Break, throw a second Fairy Energy, and then using all that energy you put on your Pokemon, you will be attacking and doing lots of damage. The second attacker in this deck is Mega Altaria's Mist Purge. So the Mist Purge does 100 damage, and if you have any special energy, it does 30 more damage and heals 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. So you're starting to see what I'm getting across here. Yes, there's the ideal way to play is get your Xerneas up. If he gets damaged, retreat him to the bench. Use Altaria, heal up your Pokemon. But it's not that simple. There's just so many different ways to play and so many ways to go. And in fact, in that last game I was referencing, that Beedrill game, I did not get the Xerneas. Ooh, a trade, hooray! I did not get a Xerneas late. I had all three Altaria out first, so I kind of struggled with getting energy on my Pokemon, but I did win and survive from the deck's versatility. So, obviously we're going to talk about synergies, and one is going to be this Mist Purge, where you're healing Pokemon. So you will get your Mega Altaria with a special energy on it, and you can see we have 6 special energy. I didn't want to go overboard, but that's enough to power them up and start healing your Pokemon. And, so one synergy would be you can have your Xerneas up, and he takes a little damage, but as long as your Mega Altaria is ready to go, and that could be as quick as your second turn, you can get 2 energies on him, one from the Geomancy, one from your hand. And if you have Fairy Garden, you can retreat your Xerneas and start attacking and healing your Xerneas. So there's a synergy there of healing. You can heal, and this happened in that game. You can heal with Mist Purge and use Fairy Drop to heal even more. Because again, we have a lot of Fairy energy in this deck. You use Mist Purge and you heal, and you get 50 more healing out of it. So you heal 80 per turn. And one thing to note, this Mega Altaria heals itself. So if the other Pokemon has attacked you and done 100 damage, well, you're going to heal 30 of that off, and you'll be down back to 70 when it's his turn. So it's a pretty cool feature. It heals from all your Pokemon. Another synergy of this deck is this live stream attack, and I mentioned this before. It does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all your Pokemon. It does not have to say basic energy. In fact, the double colorless works well, so I mentioned before. You get that first Xerneas up, you put a single energy on him, Geomancy, get some energy down. You can put a double colorless on a Mega Altaria. You can get your Fairy Garden out, retreat one, put another one down, get another. Maybe by turn 3, you can have a lot of energy, and this counts for double. So you'll start attacking for lots of damage. So there's a synergy there between the live stream and the double colorless, which of course is used solely on the Mega Altaria. You want to use it on him to power him up. And even when he's an Altaria, you can use him. That double colorless helps to do some of his attacks as well. Although I haven't had a game yet where I've had to attack with the Altaria, I don't think. Some other synergies. Let's see. We have Brock's Grit, obviously, with Geomancy. So Geomancy lets us distribute energy. You use Brock's Grit to put energy back in your deck. And as long as you have the energy in your deck, Geomancy will allocate it to your Pokemon. Another synergy is Garbodor. So usually you have to put a Float Stone on a Garbodor. But if you have Fairy Garden, all you need is a single Fairy energy. So we don't really need a Float Stone. And actually, it worked last game. I had to put a Fairy energy on my Garbodor and retreat him. So that works out well. And that way I don't need to put a Float Stone, because you can see a Float Stone would be a card in opposition, an antagonist card. Because we don't need a Float Stone for anyone else except for Garbodor, but why not just put an energy on him? And putting an energy on him, of course, allows us to do our live stream attack. It allows us to do our Fairy Drop. So you can see what I'm talking about with the versatility in this deck. There's just so many ways you can heal, attack, power each other up. They work so well together. There's so much synergy. Another one, even just looking at something as simple as Evosoda. Well, how do you have an Evosoda? Well, let's look at our Pokemon. We have Altaria, we have Xerneas, and we have Trubbish. All of these can be evolved. So Evosoda is like perfect in this deck. There's just so much interplay between the cards. It's really great. It's really a fun deck to play with. Let's talk about cards in opposition here. We have the double colorless energy. Obviously, it does not work with Geomancy. It does not work with Fairy Drop. It does not work with Fairy Garden. So in a way, it is antagonistic. And the same with the special energy. Special energy does work with Fairy Drop and Fairy Garden, but does not work with Geomancy. You cannot use Geomancy to put a Fairy energy, because Wonder Energy is not a Fairy energy until it lands on your Pokemon. And that's why I only have 2 here. Normally you have special energy, you may have 4. Why not play 4 of these? Well, it doesn't work with Geomancy. And the benefit it gives us, it allows your Pokemon that's attached to prevent the effects of their attack. So something like a Glaceon, this would be perfect for. But there's another synergy with this. When we use it on our Mega Altaria, it counts as a special energy. So we could have 2 regular fairy energy and 1 wonder energy on our Mega Altaria, and that counts. The weaknesses of this deck are, kind of obvious. We're not hitting for a ton of damage, but, obviously Metal, Altaria, and Xerneas is weak against Metal, so you don't want to run against Mega Scizor in this deck. And the healing would be negated by anything that can do lots of damage. That Delphox deck I was talking about before, that can really scale up the damage. If you're playing a deck where they can just start blowing you away and one-shotting you, well, then this Mist Purge is useless, and your Fairy Drop is useless. And you're losing energy because you're losing Pokemon. It's one cool thing about this deck is you can retreat a EX, have him up there, retreat, and put a Xerneas up and buy some time until your next EX is up, or until you have a Xerneas break ready. And that's kind of a good thing because, again, in that Beedrill deck, that game I played against, my key attacker in the end was the first Pokemon I evolved, and he had 200 damage on him at some point. And I retreated him to the bench, and I slowly healed him by attacking. And he actually was the last attacker and was healing himself as he went along. So, as long as you don't get one shot, this deck is going to, do well. So the giveaway for this deck, we are going to have a single giveaway. It'll be 1 Xerneas from Steam Siege and 1 Xerneas Break. I will give away a pair of Xerneas and Xerneas Break, which is, as you saw, more expensive than the EX cards, I believe. Am I right? Let's just double check that. Where's Xerneas? Xerneas Steam Siege is 1, and Xerneas Break is 3. So it's more expensive. So that is 4 quote-unquote packs worth. It's more expensive than the EX. So don't say you're being cheap here. I am not being cheap here. That is a fair amount of packs. So we're going to go right to the games right after this short break. All right, here we go. Game 1 of our cheap EX Mega Altaria deck. And I've lost the coin flip. Not a huge problem. Not a huge problem. Getting as long as we get our Xerneas and some guys on our bench. Yep. All right. This is pretty good actually. Except I might get end, and I might lose my whole hand. And there's an end there. There's an escape rope. I'm guessing we're going to see Rainbow Road here, so should be interesting. 2 different Xerneas going after each other, because he had a lot of colors in his deck preview. I don't know what you call it. It was just about every color there. Could be something different. Who knows? But I like this setup. I just want to... Yes, let me draw cards, and please give me more Pokemon. No. No, it's Volcanion. Oh, I go first. How did I get that wrong? I'm going to put the... Let's put the Wonder Energy on our Xerneas. I got that wrong. And I probably should have put the double colorless on Altaria, but that's okay. Hopefully we'll get another one. And we know we have a little time, I think, to attack because, well, the Volcanion is here, but he's going to use the Steam Up ability. So I think I won the coin. Did I win the coin flip? I lost the coin flip, and my opponent let me go first. So that's pretty interesting here. He wants to attack first. Ultra Ball, will we see Shaman in this deck? He threw out a Volcanion. That's interesting. If we don't see it, maybe Flareon. Flareon's pretty good with the Volcanion EX because it transfers energies onto itself. Nope, Hoopa. So Hoopa probably to Shaman. And maybe we'll see a Skyfield? If he's got a Hoopa, if this is a Volcanion deck with Hoopa, he's going to want to put down a few EX. I'm guessing Shaman is one of them. I'm not sure if I really see the value in that. Is it really necessary to have Hoopa and, Hoopa and Shaman in this deck? Aren't they a little bit of a liability? And he's got to have float stones for all of them. It seems like you're clogging up your deck with cards. So I don't know. And he threw out a Volcanion to get to it. So if he just replaced the Hoopas, the Shamans, and maybe some of the float stones, he's going to attach them with more draw cards. Isn't that a little better? I don't know. I know I sound crazy when I talk bad about Shaman. Like, is that card really worth it? But is it really worth 60 packs for this? I mean, he's got a nice setup, but wouldn't he have had it if he replaced these cards with an N and Shaman? And yes, he can draw. He can play 2 of them with that, so he can still play the N. Yes, I get that. But they are liabilities, and let's see if we can take advantage of it later. If I can Lysander his Hoopa and gives me time to build up or even use it to get 2 prize cards, sure, why not? So he's got to get that. He'll probably lay the Scorched Earth down. Yep, and I'm going to counter with Fairy Garden. I only have 3 in here, so I'm likely against a deck like this. You'd think there would be 4 Scorched Earth in the deck because they're going to want to get rid of energy. And now I see why I was confused. Woo! Almost knocked me out. So I'm thinking I'm going to lay this Xerneas down. I'm going to lay down my Fairy Garden, and I'm going to see if I could slow things down with using my Lysander. And I need to get energy on these guys. As much as I would like to play this Mega and just end my turn, I think it's more important getting the energy down. So let's see what my opponent does. Does he have a Float Stone? He did have a Escape Rope before. And if he plays that, then I'm fine with playing this Xerneas up and putting the damaged one on the bench, because this is a deck that can heal. And similarly, I don't think he can knock this out. I think that was the point. I think 110 was the max damage he could do with this Volcanion. So he is using his Steam Up attack. I suspect a Float Stone or Escape Rope will be played soon. He's probably emptying his hand so he could play a supporter. Or not. Or is he going to put the energy? Oh, see? There we go. All right. All right. I am content in letting that Xerneas sit there and using our break on this one. I'm not content in playing this Mega Altaria now. I need to get more energy out. So let's get Shauna to give us a fresh set of cards, and that's okay. We will play the double colorless on our Altaria. He is ready to go. So I could retreat and start. He's not ready to go because he's not a Mega. So do I want to power up some more Pokemon? And then maybe... Yes, I do, because if I get 2 energy on them, I could put a 3rd and then start attacking with my break on the next turn. So again, this deck has good versatility. So, my Xerneas might get knocked out. But I will have the potential to have 2 and almost a 3rd Pokemon ready to attack. What I really need are my Spirit Links, because I don't want to waste a turn evolving this Pokemon, and I cannot place this special energy on this Altaria because he is not a fairy Pokemon. So my opponent struggling with getting his Hoopa out of the active spot, or maybe leaving him there as well. I can't imagine that. I think he's ready to chomping at the bit to knock me out. So let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy. So 140 damage as it stands. I will do less if he gets knocked out, but that's a fair amount of energy. And he's so far powering up his bench. I'm curious who he's going to bring out next. Is it going to be one of these Volcanion? He has a good setup. I'm okay with that. My setup. That one Spirit Link would really help. And I would be thrilled if this Hoopa is the active Pokemon when it's my turn. That will make me happy. By the way, another cool thing to notice, look how quick my turns have been compared to his. I've used like 2 minutes of time. He's used 6. He's got a lot of energy there. Alright, this is good. Spirit Link? Not yet. So I'm okay with that. And that's going to really power up my... Oh, this is looking very good for me. I probably just gave him the ability to retreat, but look at this. Look how this synergy is going. So this is turning out very nicely. I've got my evolved Mega on my bench. I've got my second one powered up. Oh, I haven't done that on this machine yet. I can retreat with Xerneas. And do I have enough to knock him out? I think so. 180. Oh, that was great. That was just so great. Oh, that pleased me so much. And I just knocked out the Hoopa. I wish I had a Lysander, because then, wow, we could go after some more. And even if I can play an N and get another Xerneas break on this guy with all the energy I have, I could be one-shotting his non-souped-up Volcanions. So this is good. This is going to be a 2-for-1 trade here. I got 2 prizes. He's going to knock out my Xerneas. And I could bring any of these up to the active spot. I'm going to do my Mega Altaria for now. I'm not thrilled with what I have here. So let's play N. I should have played this random receiver on second thought and hope to get a Lysander. Yeah, that's not what I was hoping. Oh, I have one on my... Oh, did I have a V-Seeker? I'm not going to go back and look at the tape and see if I had a V-Seeker, because that'll make me sad. All right, Mist Purge. Let's see. As my Radiator angrily bangs away. 130 damage, and he cannot attack. So I'm guessing he's going to retreat, and we'll see this Volcanion. But you see, we kind of starting to heal up this guy. Oh, Escape Rope. I will offer him the Xerneas to beat. And then I'm going to Lysander this Volcanion right back, and I'm going to knock him out with this Mega Altaria. Oh, he's not, unless, well, he could do Steam Up. Let's see, is he going to have enough Steam Up? Yeah, almost certainly. He just needs to do 2 Steam Ups. But I'm going to knock out this guy. Yep, no N played. I don't think I'm in danger of being red carded against this deck. He has 11 cards left in his deck. But in a deck like Volcanion, there's lots of ability to pull energy back out. So 50 is enough to knock out this Xerneas. I'm playing a little risky here, because then I'm down to these 2 Altarias. Interesting that he hasn't played another Stadium. He just has the 1 in this deck? 2. So I really want to knock out one of his Volcanion and bring it to a... Oh, this is going to be almost over if I can get... Well, no. I need to get a Mega Altaria in my hand. If I get a Mega Altaria in my hand on the next turn, this game will be over. Nope, did not get it because he's got his Shaman here. And that is a one shot from being knocked out. So as long as he doesn't knock this Mega Altaria out, I've got a V-Seeker here. As long as he doesn't wipe my hand out, I can get another Lysander. I could take out a Shaman. And in a way, I mean, that's why I was talking about that these are vulnerabilities. That having a Shaman and a Hoopa on your bench is a great setup, but if you've got Lysander, if you've got the ability to do lots of damage, yep, there we go. This is going to be the game. So, the secret phrase is going to be Lysander, as in Lysander that Shaman. And this is game, unless I've miscalculated somehow. Lysander that Shaman, the secret phrase. And look at that. Victory number 1 in game number 1 of our cheap EX Mega Altaria deck. We beat Volcanion EX, a tier 1/tier 2 deck. And we will be right back with game number 2 after this short break. All right, game number 2. Welcome back. The second game in our cheap EX deck. Our first cheap EX deck, although I didn't label it, was definitely that Wailord deck, the Wailord Mill deck, and it's pretty popular. I've gotten a lot of hits on it, so if you haven't checked it out, I suggest you do. My opponent's choosing an active Pokemon. He's choosing his bench Pokemon. And again, this is the ideal setup. 1 energy on our Xerneas, and even the Spirit Link, which eluded us a little bit last game. Yes, we want our Altaria on the bench. So let's see what we're facing here. I'm kind of curious. I'm thinking Yanmega or Vespiquen. Oh, Spinarak. What am I facing? Rogue deck here. First deck. Standard tier 1, tier 2 deck. Volcanion EX. You know, there's something to be said for playing rogue decks. You have a little bit of advantage because everybody knows how to play against the top tier decks because you face them so much. I calculated I play the same 6 or 7 decks, like 70% of my games. At least 50% of my games are like 5 decks. So I know how to play against them. I know what their strengths and weaknesses are. I build some of them myself. I play some of them myself. I know, what to do against them, what they're aiming for. And playing a rogue deck, they may not know. Your opponent may not know what a Mega Altaria EX does. It's a pretty cool thing. I'm running out of battery, so I'm going to stop for a second. Plug my computer in. There we go. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Let's think for a second. Do I want to play an N? Yeah, let's play it. Why not? Even though I kind of liked my setup. Sure, we're going to put a Trubbish down, but we're going to be in trouble if we keep using Geomancy. Is it choose up to? No, choose 2. So I do not want to give my Trubbish tons of energy. 1 is great. Although technically it will help if I use upgrade to Xerneas BREAK. So, okay, I have my double colorless. I can place that on the Altaria should my hand not change. I can play an N and hope to evolve him into a Mega. And if I get I didn't place the Stadium before because I want to win the Stadium Wars. I don't know what kind of deck my opponent has. I only have 3 fairies. Alright, so we are playing a well-known deck, a Sceptile Ariados deck. Which means he's going to poison my active Pokemon and then use Sceptile's Unseen Claws to do 130 damage, but it's really going to turn into 140 or more because the poison in between turns. So I will definitely need my Fairy Garden and I didn't want to play it too early. So let's see what we got here. At Pilot 999. Definitely a Star Wars fan here. Alright. Octillery, he's going to use Abyssal Hand. And draw some cards. So we have a pretty good setup. Alright. We don't have the... Oh, this is... Oh! I just realized something. Look at this. Garbodor will, when I put a tool on him, eliminate his ability to use Abyssal Hand and Spinnerack's ability. So I'm going to use N again. I don't care if it gives him more cards now. It's only one more card. Ooh. Do I start attacking now? I could put an energy on him, retreat, and then start knocking him out with Mega Altaria. Or do I put an energy on this Xerneas, and then I'm really going to be... Well, no. No. Well, I do need to get... Oh, I cannot put an energy on my Xerneas, so that fixes that problem. I am going to put the extra energy on Garbodor, because it will help my break. And you can see I only have one break here, so there's one in the prizes. I have two. I have a Mega. This should be... if by next turn I get a energy on Xerneas and he doesn't have anything going on, this could be a very short game. It could be over very quickly, because if I get a tool on this Garbodor, he will not use any of his abilities. The Sceptile becomes weak. I mean, that's why Garbodor is such a strong guard. Oh! I fell asleep there. Mega Sceptile deck. So, this is going to get a little more interesting. I'm going to do a quick count here of my energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our Xerneas break would do 140 as it stands. I would have to get another energy. So 160. I'm pretty happy with that amount of damage. He's showing no ability to retreat yet. But I imagine he will. If he does, this Xerneas will get knocked out if he can use the poison Unseen Claw, and then I can start using Mega Altaria, and I really need to get a tool on Garbodor, and that will basically start to shut down his deck. No poison, so I'm desperate for that. Alright, a switch is there. So goodbye, Xerneas. Thank you for your sacrifice. Yep, poison. This was one of my first decks. Unseen Claw, poison. A nice little combination. And we are going to start attacking with our Mega Altaria. We need a Spirit Link. We will play this Eva Soda, and we will have our break card. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 140 damage. Not bad. It's not going to knock out the Sceptile, and he will be close to dead if I do it. No Spirit Link. No Spirit Link. But I do have my Fairy Guard, and I can retreat and start attacking with the Xerneas, which I'm inclined to do. So let's give that a try, because he's going to do a lot of damage here, and I'd rather give up 2. And when he does get damage, I can retreat him and use a Mega Altaria's healing. So game extended. I said it would be a quick game, and I'm a liar. I think Mr. Sceptile is going to retreat. I think we're going to see Sceptile EX maybe heal his Sceptile. So now this is going to be interesting, because to heal him, he's got to put an energy on him. So he's going to start loading up this Sceptile with energy. And he won't be able to get rid of it because of the float stone. So there are some antagonist cards here. He could target my Garbodor, which would be a smart move for him if he has a Lysander somewhere. I don't think he has played a supporter card. So if he has a Lysander, that would be a very good play. Not only knock out the ability to shut down his, half of his deck, his focal point, but also knock 2 energy out. Take 2 energy out off the board from Xerneas, and I'm low on Pokemon, so I thought it might be a quick win. It might be a quick win for him if I cannot get something going. So I'm just hoping he attacks right now. That would be perfect for me. V-Seeker. Alright, Pokemon Fan Club. He's getting more of his friends out. I've tried so many times to get Mega Sceptile working, and it just did not happen. It was one of my favorite cards. It's just a little clunky to put energy on a Pokemon. There's not a green Pokemon that does great with a lot of energy. I think Trevenant EX was one, but it didn't really make sense. You could try with Yveltal, but I could never really find a way to make it work. Okay, so he's poisoned. We still need a Pokemon tool for our Garbodor. We can retreat and get rid of the poison, but we're going to be in a little... Oh, there we go. Goodbye abilities. Let us play Shauna. You see our stadium's still here. I'm surprised he doesn't have a bunch of Forest of Giant Plants. Yes. I'm starting to like how this is going. I may not have... Let's see, I wasted a Spirit Link on him, but I should have at least one more. I'm going to retreat. I should not be seeing any more poison for a little bit. I'm going to start healing off this Xerneas break. I can retreat because I still have my stadium. I cannot play this Wonder Energy yet. Although I could play it on. Alright, so he's going to go blow for blow here. And he could survive one more of those hits. He can survive any hit from these guys. So I'm not too scared. In fact, I want to play the Sycamore and get this Altaria into Mega Altaria. Except I don't want to lose this Fairy Garden. Oh, come on, Mike. Live a little. Yeah, I want to knock this Mega out. There we go. We got our double colorless. I don't know if I want to play this guy yet. I can retreat and knock him out with the Xerneas. But he's going to heal himself for 30 damage, so let's stay with him. Because I don't think anything's going to do 150 damage to him, which is what he's going to have. 150. Oh, there's our Spirit Link and our Mega. All right. So, hoping there's no more N in our near future. Hoping there's not a Lysander to kill our Garbodor. We are looking very good here. And he put his Sceptile as the main EX. So let's count. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're just going to knock him out. And we're going to... Oh, there we go. So we were going to heal our Xerneas break with Fairy Drop. And then knock out his... or be close to knocking out his Mega Sceptile. And that was going to be... our opponent had enough there. So I wish I could move this screen so we could see what was there, but you could see the Fairy Drop there. We were going to do massive damage to his Mega Pokemon. I don't think knock it out, but it didn't matter. I don't think he would have knocked out our card. We would have knocked him out eventually. He had Garbodor to contend with, and it was pretty much over. So not a strong deck as the first game, but gave us a little scare, and we took it out, I think, without much problem. So we'll be right back for game number 3. All right, welcome back. Game number 3. We are facing a dark deck here. We are waiting for our opponent to load the game. We are waiting for our opponent to call the coin flip. We lost the coin flip. Alright, here we go. Not our ideal setup here, but maybe we can make it work. And this is kind of worse for us because we're going second. When you're going second, you definitely want to have the Xerneas here because you can do that attack to power up you guys. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. It depends on what my hand looks like, right? He could play an N. Oh, that's promising. That my opponent does not have the ideal setup. Even better. And boy, I really don't want to play this N now. We'll play the double colorless. And we'll just attack. Well, he's going to retreat on the next turn. It's weird that he has a fire energy because before it showed his deck to be dark, so I'm trying to think. I don't want to play the Sycamore yet. There's not much I can do, even if I do get more cards, so let's hold off. Let's do an attack. We're one away from knocking out his Shaman. One energy, I mean. So, alright, he can retreat. Well, he's got an N. So, interesting he didn't play that on his first hand, although maybe he just drew it. I'm not sure. Let's see what we get here. Again, not ideal. Maybe we need to put a fourth Xerneas in this deck. I think I only have 3. Oh, a ho-ho deck. Interesting. So is he going to Sky Return? He's got to, because I'm going to knock out his Shaman if he does not. No, he doesn't have to, but I can knock him out later with a Lysander. Alright, he's going to stand pat here with his... Yeah, I'm fine with putting an energy and just doing Shining Wind. Get our next Pokemon ready. I'm not going to evolve because I'll lose a turn. Let me think. If I do 80 now and 80 later, that's 160. If I evolve him, that'll be 130. 160 is not enough to knock him out. So, yeah, I am going to evolve him. And I'm not playing my Fairy Garden again. I want to try to win the Stadium War here. I don't know what he has. So I don't want to play it and then he replaces it. I want to have that option. So I'm going to start doing 130 damage. So either way, so my calculation was I'm going to do 80 per turn. Oh, that's interesting. All right, here we go. Looks like he's kind of out of cards. He doesn't have anything to draw. I'm kind of stuck. I don't have anything to draw either. Well, he does have a V-Seeker. He's going to pull his N out. Excuse the ambulance that's going by. Alright, so he's gonna Sky Return his Shaman. I do have a Shauna here. See, now it looks like I definitely should have played that Stadium, but I can still retreat him even with a regular energy. So I'm not too concerned. I'm gonna put a regular energy on him. I'm not gonna retreat just yet. And I'm not gonna heal him because I'm planning to attack with my Mega Altaria. And that's gonna heal him. So let's hold those fairy drops to later. Okay, this is good. Minus the not having a draw card. So we're just going to retreat. I'm going to start attacking. But I can get one with random receiver. And I'm not going to play it now. Again, he could play N. And he could change my whole hand, and then I will have lost this card. So, you know, if you have a card in your hand, doesn't mean you have to play it. Alright, we're going to see Shaman back on the bench. Almost sure of it. So, OO, Zoroark. And it showed up as colorless. That's why I didn't see any of the, that's why I only saw white and colorless and dark because, alright, he's doing that. He healed himself for 50. This Oho might be dead on the next turn, because I could still put a double colorless on this Xerneas and retreat him and attack with Mega Altaria. So again, not a huge deal that I missed, did not put down the stadium. I don't know what he's going to have with regards to stadium. I am wasting energy, but well, you know what? This is a little risky. Okay, so we're getting a Lysander. That's not going to help us right now. We will put the double colorless on Xerneas. We will retreat. We will evolve our Xerneas, and we're going to kill off his Oho. Ho-ho. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, I didn't see the Fighting Fury Belt. Oh. 10 damage. But still, I'm not really in danger of... I think I'm not in danger of being killed off here. And all he's got left are Shaman. Alright, so there's a Sycamore. So he's feeling the pressure here. I'm starting to feel it a little bit as well, because if he gets another attacker out quickly, this Mega Altaria is going to be in trouble. Okay. I'm going to start powering up. You know, so I can attack once. I'm probably not going to get attacked the next turn. And then I can retreat. So I'm going to go with the Xerneas here. Maybe a little risky. Let's draw a new hand. Where are those Spirit Links? So if you're thinking about how to improve this deck, maybe a 4th Spirit Link and maybe a 4th Xerneas. Because those are the things I kind of seem to need. Alright, so I'm attacking, I'm healing myself, and my bench Pokemon. I'm getting 2 more cards. Spirit Link maybe? Nope, Fairy Garden's pretty good too. Now let's see, if he can't power up his Ho-Ho, this guy's going to be healing, this Mega Altaria. As long as I'm attacking with him, or if I upgrade, evolve this Altaria and get the energy on him, I can switch them. So I'm fine with leaving him as my active, even though he's got a good amount of damage on him. And I don't see him getting enough energy on this Ho-Ho in time, so feeling good. Still not going to play the stadium because there's no point. I'm not going to use it yet. I'm not going to play... You know what? I'm going to play the end because even though I have a lot of cards in my hand, it's nothing that I need. Well, they'll be down to 4. I have a Shauna. I can get 5 cards, but I'm wasting a V-Seeker. Let's play the end now. Yeah. Not sure this is the right play here, but this is not what I need. This is not what I need either. This is less than what I need. But let's use our Mist Purge. Let's heal ourselves. Kill off a Shaman. Which is always fun. There's our Spirit Link. Except now we don't have the Megas in our hand. But this is good because we can put a Spirit Link on Pokemon. Our Altaria is still going. If we had another Lysander, this Shaman would be the game right here. So if we draw, we'd have to draw a Lysander straight up. Maybe a random receiver could get it for us again. You know what? If you've stuck around this long, I'm going to do a secret giveaway here. I'm going to give away 2 packs of Steam Siege. And the, what's the secret phrase? The secret phrase is going to be Mist Purge. Oh, there's a concede. So the secret phrase number 2 for 2 Steam Siege packs is Mega Altaria's attack, Mist Purge. So if you stuck around this long, we're going to reward your efforts. And so the first person that replies with that, the secret phrase, will get 2 packs of Steam Siege. Let's just do a quick recap of this deck. I think you get an idea of what I'm talking about. We're saying there's no real, the focal point is versatility, because it seems like there's lots of different ways this deck can help itself. Obviously, Mist Purge is a huge part, but at times, the attack from the break, the live stream, is important too. And you saw how we knocked out or almost knocked out some Pokemon, did some damage. I think in the second game they they conceded, giving that our Xerneas Break was about to knock out his Pokemon. And you can see, this is another good example of how Lysander can be a liability. I know basically most everyone I talk to thinks, oh yeah, this is a great card, you have to have it in every deck, and I don't know, I don't agree. And not just for the Gray Ninja decks, and there's a few decks you can get away without it. If you have like EX and Mega EX, you could put a Hoopa in for consistent draw, but I don't know, it's such a liability, especially if you have a deck that you can afford to have 2 Lysander, 3 V-Seeker, and you're doing more than 110 damage, which, for the most part, Mega Altaria is doing every time, and, even Xerneas Break, all I need is 6 energy out. So 2 on this, so that means, 4 on my bench, and using Geomancy, that's, if you calculated 2 turns of Geomancy, and by the 3rd turn you're doing enough to knock out his Pokemon. Even without Geomancy, you're putting energy on top of it. You put a double colorless on an Altaria or Mega Altaria, you've got enough energy. This deck definitely plays on synergies with itself. There's a lot of cards that glue the deck together. The healing with the Fairy Drop, having the Garbodor there to, we don't have any abilities, so we can shut down our opponent's abilities, and that was key in that second game. There's just so much going on here that it's a strong deck. I'm really, I made this deck. I said, okay, I looked at the cards and I said, wow, this is a pretty good card. I think I can make a deck out of it, make it decent. I'm starting to think this deck's a lot stronger than I thought it was. I don't know. I don't know if there's that much else to say. I think you should. If you're looking for a cheap EX deck, if you're looking for your first EX deck, if you have some packs, you have about 8 to, let's say, 12 packs, you can build this deck, and I think it's pretty strong. So, all right, well, thanks a lot, and until the next episode, see you later.